Christie's friend and mentor, David Samson, is not going to jail. The former Port Authority chairman will instead serve 1 year of house arrest after shaking down United Airlines to set up a special flight route to his country home in South Carolina. Samson will be fined $100,000. He will also perform 3,600 hours of community service. WNYC's Andrea Bernstein was there for the sentencing today. She joins me now in studio. Andrea, hello.
Hey, Jamie.
So you were in that federal courtroom today as the sentence came down, and you've been following the case since I think about 2012. Was anyone surprised today after all this time when the sentence finally came down?
Well, yeah, I think so. Prosecutors had hoped that Samson would get at least 2 years in jail. They point out that Samson, who was once an immensely wealthy and well-connected lawyer, was once the New Jersey Attorney General, and he is the highest-ranking New Jersey official in some time to be convicted of corruption. So prosecutors had argued that they said Samson was arrogant, they said his behavior was outrageous, and they said that he, quote, not only knew the difference between right and wrong, but he leapt over it and had a wide margin to spare.
And remind us what the chairman's flight was all about. Is there a Bridgegate connection? And what's this giant leap he took? Bring us back to the case.
So after the Bridgegate scandal broke, WNYC and other news organizations began to look at Samson, who was the chair of the Port Authority at the time, a very good friend of Christie's. He ran the whole organization where all of this was happening. And what we found out is he was a lawyer and a lobbyist, and often he was working for clients who had business sometimes with the state of New Jersey and even before the Port Authority. So he was getting paid by people who also needed his official approval for their deals. But ultimately, what prosecutors started looking at and what they got him to plead guilty to was extracting a special flight route from United Airlines so he could get to his country home in South Carolina, which is, by the way, called Rest Period. And to get the guilty plea, prosecutors allowed him to frame his crime narrowly. So we'd found that he'd given United the benefit of the doubt when it was, for example, negotiating for millions of dollars and lowered fees at the Port Authority. But he wasn't charged with that part. So today in the court, the judge was struggling with the way the prosecution had framed this crime, and he wasn't quite sure who the victim was